What is the fastest way for you to buy your first property? I'm going to cover just that in this video. So you need a plan. First step of that plan is how you're going to get money. Do you already have money saved? Do you have to start saving for money? Or are you going to ask someone for money? Mummy or daddy or someone else? I don't recommend step 3. I don't recommend this one because you're not experienced enough to handle the money, and if you lose it, which is a high chance, it's not good for anyone. So step 1 is great. Step 2, you got to start having a plan on how you're going to obtain that money. If you got to understand, what are you earning? How much are you earning? How much can you put away every week? Ideally, if you're earning $1,000, you can hopefully put away, depending on your circumstances, at least $500 a week. Some people can do $700 a week. Some people can do $300 a week. Depending who you are and how disciplined you are, depends on how much you're going to save every week. If you do $300 a week over 52 weeks, it's approximately $15,000. So that means if you want to buy, and after 3 years, you have close to $45,000. $45,000 on a 20% deposit is a $200,000 property. On 10% deposit is a $450,000 property. Unless you're going to make a lot of money on that $450,000 property immediately, and it's worth $500,000, I don't recommend putting down 10%, because if the market turns, it's going to put a lot of pressure on you. Regardless of what way you go, you need to be a worthy applicant. What I mean by that is you need to show that you are responsible, disciplined, and that you will be the right person to give money to, and that you will do everything right when you receive that money. The way to do that is, if you haven't already started saving for your property, you need to start saving immediately. I highly recommend you start putting money into another account, a nominated account on the side that you barely look at and you can't pull out until a set period of time. Let's say you're putting $300 in a week or $500 in a week and you want $75,000 deposit. You lock that up for 3 years, and your plan is to put $500 every week into a nominated account, which will be approximately $25,000 per year, and after 3 years you will have $75,000. That is the best way to do it. I highly recommend you barely look at it, only if you're disciplined enough and you want to get excited every now and again to see what it is. But if it's gonna be at risk to saying, oh, I have $35,000, I've always wanted a Harley, and it's going to detract you from your ultimate goal of buying a property, I highly do not recommend it whatsoever. So being a worthy applicant is also having a good credit history. Now, with a good credit history, get rid of your credit cards, get rid of your car loans, and get rid of any bad spending habits. And make sure you pay your bills on time, because if any of them get flagged, they can generally affect your credit score. And if your credit score if your credit score is ever affected, that will potentially affect your home loan. You need to start preparing for the loan. So you need to start having your finances in order, and you also need to start ensuring, apart from your serviceability looks great, which means if you're employed, you have excellent pay slips with good amounts coming in regularly, and it's a safe job. If you're self-employed, you need to generally have your job for at least 2 years and you're earning good income to sustain the loan that you are trying to get. So these are all the different ways that you need to start getting prepared for your home loan. The last step is research. Research. And your research will be based on your deposit, or the amount that you have. Some might have the whole amount to buy a property and they want no debt. But depending on the money you're planning to put down will depend on the area you're going to find. The way I like to do it is I like to go on realestate.com and I like to press maps. And then I like to also identify my budget range. When I identify my budget range in maps and I do a search Australia-wide, I then start to see what the best value for money is. And I start comparing what you get in different. And every area and every state is going to give you a different product for that same amount of money. And what I generally like to do is get the best product that ticks a few boxes for that money. And you start learning about if you're going to have $75,000, where's the best area. And what I generally do, I say $75,000 is 20% of a property will buy you a $375,000 house, approximately, if you put down 20%. If you put down 10%, it'll buy you a $750,000 house, but I do not recommend that way. So then you start looking what you can buy for $375,000. I have purchased 4 properties sub 300, actually 3 properties at sub 375, and one of them was at 385. So very close. I could have easily obtained that. So, and then you also need to start thinking about your stamp duty and things like that. But then you start, what I like to do is I look at 375. If you're not scared to go into state, I look at my overall budget, and then I start comparing areas, different areas. And I like to go on realestate.com and I like to look at the maps, and I put my price point in there. And with that price point, I start to see what's available for that price. And then I start to compare best value for money and the best uplift and the best growth potential and the one that I'm going to make the most money in the shortest amount of time and the one that has the best return on investment. So I want to wish you luck in your journey, wherever it may be, and good luck in finding the ideal property and getting your name and preparing for it. Such an exciting journey. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe and share. And if you've got a question, drop it and I'll be more than happy to answer it. Take care and good luck.